Your time will not begin until you first start speaking. So if you wish to do a Nazi-style pause at the beginning of your speech, you may.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the Heythrop student body. You should vote for me as your next year's academic affair officer, because as an academic affair officer, I will be responsible to make all of your education as the best as it can be. Even though there are presumable challenges next year that we will face with a small student body, I'll be working with a new established TOPSY, as we've seen in the manifesto, which is a group for teaching out and protection of student experience to protect, to ensure as smooth as possible running of our one-on-one tutorial system and improve our seminar system. That includes taking your concerns and communicate that to the staff members. And one of my goals for next year would be, perhaps on a novelty side, as to provide an increased awareness of Heythrop-led extra academic opportunities. For example, the public lectures, presumably say the lecture series that we're running, and the study days, and perhaps we'll also be interested in making explicit academic links with the Philosophy Society and that of the Debating Society. And my experience, just as to round up my reason why you should vote for me, is that I have experience I have been awarded a humanities award for philosophy at my old sixth form college, and I'm currently a member of both the Debating and the MUN Modern United Nations Society, which is the latter is based in Imperial, and yeah, that is the reason why I would argue you should vote for me as your academic affairs officer for the next year.
Well done. You said 3 seconds on the time clock. Very good, very good. So does anyone have any questions for Khanh? Hello, Jo.
Hello. This is a situational question. So, as a student, I've been accused of plagiarism. I come to you as my academic affairs officer. One, do you know the procedure I go through? And if you do, can you explain it for me, please?
Can you repeat the latter part?
So the procedure you go through as a student, you've been accused of plagiarism, you come to your academic affairs, what are you going to do to help me?
Okay.
And can you explain the situation?
For cases of plagiarism, I guess for one, so you would have to submit me submit me your piece of work and why the lecturer said it's plagiarism, which then I would pass your complaints to the lecturer to say why those to ask the lecturer why those cases are plagiarism, and if I guess in the case of whether how much grade are we going to say taken away, so it will be a case of I guess pass it to me, but then and both the communication between the lecturer about your case and your if that's.
Okay, that makes sense. Just from an academic affairs officer, there is a procedure that I want you to know about running as my academic affairs officer, and it's not that. Sorry, I just thought I'm being mean.
well, my response to that would be that indeed I would say that I'm thanking you for that for bringing up that suggestion, because I am sorry that I did not know the procedure, which I would take care to study as we go on for next year as well.
Brilliant, so, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Khanh? Oh, Mr. Holland's hand went. Oh no, Fergus, go ahead. Then Mr. Holland.
To pick up again kind of on that hypothetical example, what do you view your role as a union officer to be, fundamentally, in the case of each student being accused of plagiarism?
Well, that would be for my in the best interest of us is prioritizing this the students' grades and their work, and to see if those who say that plagiarism is it right or not that it have been accused upon the students. Well, and yeah. It is a case of say it'll take say a few weeks until we find a decision on say that individual's case will be brought on will be laid back to the student. But my first priority and first instinct is to protect the students' progress.
Mr. Holland, did you have a question? Or I should suppose, Fergus, did that answer your question, I should say? Are you satisfied with that?
Seems to be one of the few people who runs for these meetings who understands what a union's for. For the students, not to strike a balance between the two.
Mr. Holland?
You said you're going to improve the seminar system. Do you have any ideas explicitly how you improve it?
Well, in my mind so far is that the complaint from the student body about the seminar system is that is a confusion over the rotation of the modules for one, and second the and second the schedule for the staff to come into the seminar. So I guess there'll be improving about the alerting and an explicit ELIOS schedule for the seminar system, because presumably right now on Helios there are only module sections, but they don't have any, as of now, any explicit connection with seminars. So my aim to improve that seminar system will be adding an explicit section for seminars and an alert system for students to make it more efficient. And that, I guess, will be working with the technology and web development team, I guess, as well as with the staff who runs those seminars.
And there is 20 seconds left of the question period for Khanh, so I'm inclined to let Khanh sit down. Thank you very much, Khanh, for giving us your speech and answering your questions. Let me also say that this is quite a difficult thing to do. I mean, I know you see me quite regularly do this with Grace, but it is quite hard for people to come before you as a very hungry student body to devour us. And Hustings is quite a difficult and pressured thing to undertake. So, be as mean as you can be to find out what you need to know, but also bear in mind that it is quite a hard thing to do, and I'm sure people are fiddling with balloons and things because they're genuinely quite nervous about what's going on, but we have to remember that this is also people striving to get the best for Heythrop. So just to say that, and to hand over to Caleb to tell us about why he should be our new male welfare officer. Caleb, you have 2 minutes for when you first start speaking.
Good evening. Thank you everyone for coming. First off, just to say I don't want to sound too monotone, but I'm quite ill. But to start off with, my first point about welfare is that for me it is mostly about dignity and dignity of the individual. I think that welfare is about strength and strength of the individual. I think that sometimes the students, especially on issues of mental health, it can be quite daunting, quite scary. To ask for help, and I want to be able to provide a safe environment for people to talk to me, and to generally promote the wellness and well-being of people. I'm a big supporter in a healthy mind and a healthy body, despite being ill and not having a healthy body. But I think that definitely personal well-being always contributes to academic success. Not to say if you're unhealthy that you're going to fail everything, but it's definitely a factor. And so I want to provide a service which is informative and supportive, and to give help where needed. There will be times where I can't always give the advice, but I will always be working with the welfare staff within college to provide a service where I can't in some situations, and to give confidential advice about being a space where people sometimes may not feel that they can go to their staff or to their lecturers but they want to talk to a student. And I suppose that's where I come in to bridge the gap between the staff and the student body as a member of the student union. And ultimately, with that, I'll be here for you, working for you. So please vote.
9 seconds under So does anyone have any questions for our slightly ill Caleb? Fergus, you're up.
Hey, yeah, you talked a lot about like what you want to do in terms of creating the right atmosphere, that people feel like they can speak to you, and that you can direct people correctly to various members of staff. We didn't really talk at all about how you're going to do any of this thing. So we could elaborate.
Sure. Well, as any officer of the union, I will have a drop-in and things like this. Next year I'm planning on living on campus, so I feel that my presence around the college will be known. Being an officer of the union, I will strive to go to as many events and to make my presence known to the student body. And to just let people know that I'm there if people want to talk to them. I feel that I should have a warm, sympathetic, open approach to people's issues. I don't think it's like specifically going up to everyone saying, I'm your male welfare. Do you have a problem? And keep on continue asking people if they're okay, because I feel like it's a supportive role. I don't want to be intruding, but I want to feel like I'm there for people. I don't know if that's answered your question.
Has it, Fergus, answered your question?
It'll do.
Has anyone got any other questions for Caleb?
It's means to like.
Whoa! Dan first, then
Sorry,
Caleb.
Dan can go first.
No, ladies first, go on.
Okay, please.
To elaborate on Vanessa's point, in your speech you just said you'll promote healthy eating and things like that, so how can you do that if you're just letting your presence be known?
Sure. Okay. So one thing I was thinking about, because I don't think it's any mystery that a lot of people within the student body don't use the gym. So, and I think that next year perhaps we can campaign for having it to be free gym, perhaps even having someone like Hal, who is a personal trainer, come in and give people sessions on how they can improve their physical fitness, having a kind of plan for that. Also in continuation of the Physical and Sexual Health Awareness Week, giving advice on how people can live healthier lifestyles, which is quite difficult as a student.
Okay, do you feel that's answered your question? Thank you very much. Dan, your question. Oh, has anyone got any other questions for Caleb, our male welfare officer? There is just about time. Fergus again.
Yeah, just would you commit here and now to ensuring there's going to be a sex quiz next year?
Yes.
I remind you you're on film. Yes. Has anyone got any other questions for Caleb? Thank you very much, Caleb. Now, Mr. Summers, Edric Summers, has run to be our student activities officer. So if you'd like to go up and take the stage, Mr. Summers. Your time begins from when you start speaking.
Hi guys, I'm Ed. I'm a second year. I'm doing PRE and I've been Hawks for 2 years. I don't want to stand up here and make false promises, but I believe Heythrop needs to massively improve its approach to activities. Heythrop is underfunded and at times can be very unexciting, which is odd for a university based in London. I believe this is caused by 3 problems. These range from the range of activities that have been offered, the promotion of these activities, and the continuing commitment of the role of activities officer. Because of this, I would like to focus on encouraging a wider range of activities Heythrop can't necessarily offer alone. These being swimming, rock climbing, Olympic weightlifting, for you Olympic weightlifters, and badminton, and so on with Imperial College. Societies such as football and netball could then have the opportunity of desire to take part with more students from Imperial and have larger societies and groups. My second issue is being able to promote activities in an affordable and efficient way. I think we're wasting far too much resources and paper with all these almost pointless posters that aren't really being seen. Nonny, when I first met her, had this great idea of setting up a WhatsApp group for all of the people that lived in Hawes. And everyone can text like when activities are on, whatnot. And I think this is a great idea that can be utilised very efficiently. For example, we can ask on the WhatsApp what people want to do, whether it be a good idea or not, and then sufficient funding can go into that, knowing the feedback we get.
Last sentence.
Please vote for me.
Now, who has any questions for Mr. Summers? Kate.
I have 2 questions if it's allowed.
Yeah, sure.
So in terms of posters, I don't actually have a smartphone, so I can't get WhatsApp, and I don't actually use Facebook either. So I'm just wondering how I can find out about these events. Can I ask both of you?
Sorry.
Just for the sake of time. And then, don't imperial societies need to pay for a membership, like pubs, clubs?
Currently, there is, for the second question, currently pounds offering £2.50 for a day membership, which you could go and use.
What about the societies?
The societies?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was meaning more what they can offer us in their rock climbing with their swimming pool.
Because you said you needed to promote more, but then you said you're going to stop doing them.
I think if you had 3 boards, you had 1 board in the HSU, 1 board at the front desk, and 1 board in halls, with a complete timetable of what's happening, when it's happening. I think that'd be a much better way than using money, printing, and that not going to the activities and societies.
I think we had that last year, didn't we?
You mean the month calendar? Do you feel your question has been answered?
Yeah.
Julia Burgess, your question is next.
What will make you different from any other activities officer than before?
Well, I think what makes me different is I have a genuine interest to try to make this place a bit more fun. And I think the problem is that we're a very small university and we don't really have a lot to offer. That's why I think it's important to branch out to the likes of Imperial, try and encourage more people to make and join different societies and activities, and I think that I'm the right person to do that compared to Rob.
Julia, do you feel that's answered your question?
Definitely.
Any other questions? Mr. Mann did get them first. So Mr. Mann, your question please.
Yeah, like, I agree with like outsourcing stuff, and it's been mentioned before with the whole St Mary's thing, like in dwindling student body, like we're gonna have to, try and outsource some of that stuff to Imperial. But the idea that like Heythrop doesn't have much to offer, like we have a student body that we have so many different societies that are all niche, and they may only have like 5 members each or whatever. But it shows that we do have a lot to offer and a lot of ideas. And the thing with past activities officers is quite often it's the support that needs to be there and like the regularity. And if we've got the opinion that, oh well, Imperial's better than us and we're not that great, then that's going to make the student body even more like apathetic. And it's sort of how you're going to inspire people to do stuff on site, which is really important.
It was more to encourage. Obviously, we don't have a swimming court. We don't have a rock climbing facility. It's more to encourage those that want to do it, because I know a lot of people are into their rock climbing. I believe Howard, that was mentioned earlier, is a rock climbing instructor, funny enough. So it's just so people that go to Heythrop have more options, and they don't feel like they are limited just to the niche groups that you mentioned.
Yeah, but that is niche. Like what you want to do as well with rock climbing is niche. But like how are you going to inspire the current societies for people to attend? Because there is an attendance problem, and you are getting a third of the student population gone next year.
That's a very, very good question.
Sorry, man.
No, it's true, because I used to be part of the running society, and that's doing a little bit. It's hard to say, like, you can't really just pump money into it, 'cause that's not going to work. I suppose it's more down to the people, really. It's whether they want to attend or not, and that's why I'm quite positive of the WhatsApp idea, because it's very easy to suddenly have feedback like that and know how to improve it to get better. But in the long run, I don't know until you guys tell me, because it's you guys.
Cheers.
I take it that's a question answered. Fergus, you've just got in there, so the order of questions that I have, it will go over time, but because people have waved at me during speeches, it goes Mr. Holland, Julia Burgess. Oh, it's already gone, okay. So, Mr. Holland, Ms. Bain-Jones, and then Fergus.
My question was about the WhatsApp group, which in theory is a great idea, but just take for example the amount of times we post on Facebook. Surely people it would feel like spam, constantly coming like directly into your phone, and people wouldn't really actually want to be part of that group anymore. If there was just so many messages, because there are so many different societies then that would all be posting in the group. We're doing this on Friday, we're doing that on Wednesday, doing that next Tuesday.
It can be divided relative to the people that are in societies as well, so like the subdivisions.
Isn't that kind of then what they've already got Facebook groups, so that's something for you to manage the societies and encourage them. I'll make a WhatsApp group for your own, but that's like the internal thing. I think that's if you're talking about a WhatsApp group for everyone, it could turn into spam if it's not managed very well.
It could do, then it has to be managed quite well.
And then how do you decide what qualifies for the WhatsApp group and what doesn't? Because then you just start creating even more work for yourself by thinking, like, oh, I vote for this one, or that one.
That's a good question. I can't really answer that.
It's just
I wouldn't think Heythrop had enough money to spam people all day anyway with events.
This is not a question for Mr. Holland, this is a question for the potential officer.
It's all about, well, you could argue that having your walls filled with posters to be in spam. You know, like I know that I was speaking to one of my flatmates today, and she was saying how many people would